And everybody, sound check, give me a second, sound check. Yeah, today is going to be a more relaxed lesson. Are we live? Give me a second, everybody. Give me a second. Alright, looks like we're... Alright, everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Yes, sorry for yesterday. This is Mike, the FX Boss, broadcasting live on YouTube and other streaming platforms like Teams, everybody. Welcome to the Forex Trading Course 101. The goal is to bring you from zero to a millionaire trader in 3 years in an institutional way. What does this mean? You're first an analyst, then you become a trader. And we are here learning the Fibonacci's, everybody. And yesterday we started with the Contrarian Fibonacci. Alright? And never forget, you're going to graduate from this course when number 1, you have your chart set up and ready for trading. Number 2, you have a strategy in place, you understand why you win, why you lose. And number 3, you have a complete understanding of how this market works so you can analyze the market and make an educated prediction. Alright, everybody? Remember, if your way is not working, why don't you try ours? Risk disclaimer, this stream is not trading or investment advice. We are here to learn. And for homeworks and questions, you have my email. And everybody connect on Teams if you can. Alright? So, Fibonacci learning, right? Whoops, not in here. Fibonacci, give me a second. There you go. This is the first one. Everybody that you must learn and remember. Okay, today we have how to find the contrarian Fibonacci in an uptrend. Okay, everybody, so type in the chat a currency pair that you believe it's in an uptrend. Okay, in the meantime, the original Fibonacci, we use the original Fibonacci to determine trend direction. Number 2, we compare trend direction from the larger time frame to the lower time frame. And number 3, the last thing we need to identify is in what zone are the Fibonacci's on the larger time frame and the smaller time frame. Okay, from the pictures you have, daily Fibonacci is down, you know it's ABC, right? And it's making lower lows, you know. But the 1 hour chart time frame that you are trading, it has a down ABC, but the market, it's in a retracement, right? The daily time frame, it's in an extension, you know. The 1 hour, 2 hour chart, it's in a retracement. Alright, everybody? And step by step talking about trading, right? Things to remember: the higher time frame controls the smaller time frame. The Fibonacci is stronger than the trend line. You want to buy or sell the C and take profit at the D. You will find the C using the Contrarian Fibonacci. And number 5, everybody, talking about trading, you know, we are in an extension when number 1, the market has found the C and the trend has shifted. The market broke the counter trend line break, counter trend line, or the market has crowned. Best scenario, it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, alright? Okay. Yes, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Okay, so type in the chat, everybody. In the meantime, I'm going to go to GBP JPY. Give me a second. GBP JPY, if I'm not mistaken, right? I believe GBP JPY is still in an uptrend. Yes, you can type any currency pair you want, not really a problem. Now, everybody, if you don't have your charts, it's going to be difficult, and I'm not sure why JForex it's doing this sometimes. So I need to delete, close it, and we're going to open it again. Okay, everybody, if you don't have your charts ready, then it's going to be difficult. Okay, type in the chat, there is no right or wrong. Find a currency pair that it's in an uptrend. I'm not sure if you're doing, Marcel, no problem, I will tell you in the next class what time. Okay, thank you, Mario. I'm not sure, everybody, if did we chart together on Canada JPY in the previous lessons? Nevertheless, okay, so GBP JPY, everybody, monthly chart, do you have the same Fibonacci as I do? Everybody, GBP JPY, delete a few things, you know. Everybody, okay, do you have an up Fibonacci like I do? I want you to delete a few things. Alright, can you see, everybody, we have an up Fibonacci on the monthly chart. I'm going to do like this. Okay, now the market is going up, right? Exactly. So very slowly, right, everybody? Not to freak out. So that's the A, right? That's the A of the Fibonacci, and up in here that's the B of the original Fibonacci up in here, everybody. And of course down here, right, down here, everybody, that's the C, right? The C is the lowest point inside the AB boundary after the B, before the market hits the property extension ABC, and red goes to red. So finally the extension, the projected extension, it's up in here. Agreed, everybody? Alright, if you cannot type in the chat, everybody, go on Teams. Alright, I'm not sure maybe if you can type in the chat on YouTube or not. Alright, so those are the ABCDs on GBP JPY. I know, okay, so the guys are talking on Teams. Excellent, excellent. Mario's talking to Douglas. Alright, now we are going to try to chart sub A. Alright, everybody, sub A. And then we're going to have the sub B. Alright, and then we're going to have the sub C. And then we're going to have the sub D, right? Sub A, sub B, sub C, sub D. Sub A, sub B, sub C, sub D. Okay, everybody? Knock, knock, can I join? Of course, Alexander can join. Welcome. Absolutely, you can join. Everybody, Alexander is one of our advanced students, advanced traders, so you can talk to him on Teams too. Okay. Now, the first one, it's on me, everybody, right? So the same rules apply, right? So the sub A, you know, is the highest point, is the starting point of a sequence, right? So in this example, the sub A would equalize the B, and in this example, the sub B is going to equalize the C. Make sense, everybody? Okay. I know, let's go step by step. Hello, Olga, how are you? Oh, no. Okay, everybody, so let's go step by step, right? We are on GBP JPY. Okay, now step by step. Let's talk first about the original Fibonacci, right? So this is our A, that's our B, everybody, okay, and that's our C. The C is the capital C of the original Fibonacci. The C is the highest point, not the highest, the lowest point, you know, is the lowest point inside the AB boundary after the B, before the market hits the property extension. Agreed, everybody? So we've learned about the original Fibonacci, all good, right? Nothing that difficult. Okay, now we want to chart the contrarian. Maybe we can, maybe we cannot, but do we have the first high? Yes, we do. So this is then the sub A, right? And the sub B is going to be the first low as soon as possible after the sub A. So we are just changing names, meaning instead of having A, B, C, D, now we have sub A, sub B, sub C, sub D. But we're using the same rules to chart the contrarian Fibonacci. Make sense, everybody? So I'm going to stretch the contrarian Fibonacci, and there you go. That's the sub A. let me see if I can make it bigger, bolder. Give me a second. Not in here, but in here maybe. Not this one, mad baby. There you go, there you go, there you go. All right. Now this is and click in here, and I need to change colors, right? Everybody give me a second. So it's going to be white, and we set violet, right? Just an example, violet, and we're going to say okay, and we're going to save this as a contrarian fibo, everybody. There you go. All right. So in this example, the sub A equalizes the B, and the C, the capital C, is at equal level that the sub B. Makes sense, everybody? And now, so far the sub C is this one, but the market is going up, right, everybody? And the market already hit the red, so red goes to red in the sub ABC, so the sub D extension is down to here. Make sense, everybody? Question: when the market showed this C, was this C confirmed, everybody? You know, yes or no? Was this C confirmed? Question number one: was the C confirmed? It still is, right? Was the C confirmed? You know. And number two: what happens to the contrarian Fibonacci if and when the market breaks the sub A? What happens then? Do you understand, everybody, why trading retracement is risky? Hello Alex, how are you? Olga says no. First question, everybody: is our capital C confirmed? Olga says no. Are you sure? Are you sure, everybody? I'm on GBP JPY monthly chart. We're going to check GBP JPY weekly chart with the contrarian. We're going to check GBP JPY daily chart. And if we have time, the 4-hour chart, and then you guys type in the chat a currency pair that it's in an uptrend. Okay? Was this C, capital C, confirmed back in time? So this is the monthly chart, right? Back in time. We're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Last year, GBP JPY was like this, everybody. So you had the original Fibonacci going up, capital A, capital B, capital C, you know, and you had the high up in here and you had the low down here. So you could chart the contrarian, all right? So last year, did you have the C confirmed? Everybody, Olga saying hi, Alex. Olga saying hi, Alexander. Alexander, как дела? Как дела, Alexander? Хорошо, хорошо. Alright, everybody? Was this C confirmed, everybody? What are the rules? Remember the rules? So, step by step. Some of you are late today. We were reading this one, but you also need to... confirmation, contrarian. Everybody, don't be late in classes, alright? Don't be late to class. Everybody. The only person that can be late, it's me. Alright? Don't be late at classes, especially Fibonacci classes, alright? The contrarian Fibonacci, number one, we use the contrarian Fibonacci to number one, trade retracements. Well, risky trade, right? If you would trade the monthly chart, if you would trade the contrarian, like counter trend line breaking here example, you know, just an example, counter trend in here, the yellow one, you know, you would trade this one shorting the sub A, sub B, you would lose, right? So shorting retracements, everybody, trading retracements, it's risky. And number two, we are using the contrarian to find what is called the confirmed C. Okay, trading rules until the, so it's small d, right? But I'm naming it sub d, until the sub d extension of the contrarian Fibonacci is still inside the AB boundary of the original Fibonacci. You are entering trades with a probability 50-50, right? Until when the sub D extension is inside the capital A, capital B original Fibonacci, you know, and you are going to trade, you are going to buy the original Fibonacci, you have a 50-50 chance. This is what the picture says. Okay, everybody? Until the sub D extension of the contrarian Fibonacci is still inside the AB boundary of the original Fibonacci, you are entering trades with a probability 50-50. Okay? Number two, if you can find the contrarian Fibonacci with the projected sub D extension above or below the capital A of the original Fibonacci, you are entering 80 to 85 probability trades. So back to the original question, everybody. Somebody bought this Fibonacci, right? Setups are different, but is this C confirmed? Was the C confirmed? Everybody? Hedge fund trader Alexander, hedge fund trader Olga, hedge fund trader Alex. What's the answer? Was this C confirmed? Did the market went up and didn't look back? Everybody? Is the C confirmed? If you would buy the C, what would happen? If you would buy the capital C of the original Fibonacci, what would happen? If you wouldn't buy the capital C of the Fibonacci, what would happen? If you would short the contrarian Fibonacci, what would happen? Don't worry, I have a 20 seconds delay on the chat, everybody. Do we have a capital C? Talk to me, YouTubers, student traders on YouTube. Otherwise, I'm going to go with Todd, John, Max, Maxine, Marcus on Teams. Do we have a capital C? The sub D extension, if the sub D extension is below the capital A of the original Fibonacci, we talked about this yesterday, this means that this C is confirmed. Is this C confirmed? There is right or wrong. There is right or wrong. So pay attention to the detail, everybody. Make sense? Next question. When the market is going to break, if the market goes up and up and up, which I believe is going to do, and is going to break this sub A, what happens with the contrarian Fibonacci? Would the contrarian Fibonacci would be still valid? No, exactly. All right, everybody. So let's go to now to GBP JPY weekly chart. Weekly chart. We're going to delete a few things. Delete this one. Delete this one. Delete this one. Delete. 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 All right, and so this is the most recent Fibonacci, everybody, on GBP JPY weekly chart. Check your charts if you have the same. And again, we are going to put, this is going to be our A first. all right, our A. This is going to be our B of the original Fibonacci, AB, A to B, all right. This is our C, right? This is the lowest point inside the AB boundary after the B, before the market hits the projected D extension. So our capital D, red goes to red, you know, it's up in here, right? This is where the market is gravitating to go, agreed? Okay. Now, where should you start charting, everybody? The contrarian Fibonacci in an uptrend. We're going to have the sub A. Yeah, don't freak out. We're going to spend a few weeks on the contrarian. We're going to have the sub A. We are going to have the sub B. You can name it 1, 2, 3, 4 also. It's not really a problem. Sub A, sub B, and sub C. Give me a second, everybody. If you want to speed up the process, you can ask for private classes on Fibonacci's, everybody, alright? There is no right or wrong anyway. Sub A, sub B, sub C, and sub D. Alright, everybody? Where would you start to chart your contrarian Fibonacci, everybody? At the first circle? Would you start your contrarian Fibonacci at the second circle? Or would you start at the third circle? Where would you start your sub A? Olga, you're typed 2 times. No, Olga, you were wrong. The C was confirmed. Okay, everybody? Not wrong like, oh, it's personal, but, you know, once you find, everybody, once you find the Fibonacci, original Fibonacci, like this, you know, and then you find the contrarian Fibonacci. Once the contrarian Fibonacci, everybody, has the sub D extension below the capital A, this C is confirmed. Okay, Olga? Everybody, does this make sense? Olga said 2 times. No, it's not confirmed. Yes, it is. This C is confirmed. Look at the sub D extension. I mean, down, even, you know, it goes red to red. Everybody, can you see here? Red to red. For the contrarian Fibonacci to hit the sub D extension, it must break the A, capital A of the original Fibonacci. This C, yes, it is confirmed, everybody. Oh, no was the second question. Oh, I'm sorry, Olga. Then I'm sorry, okay. But nevertheless, everybody, makes sense? Pay attention to the details. Thank you, Olga, for correcting me. And don't worry, everybody, you are going to make mistakes. First question understood. All right, so yes, the first one, okay. So this is the sub A, everybody. This is the sub A up in here. Which one is the sub C, everybody? Is the first circle the sub C? Is the second circle the sub C? I'm sorry, sub D. Or is the third circle the sub B? We found the sub A. Which one is the sub B? First circle is the sub B, the second circle is the sub B, or the third circle is the sub B? Which one is the sub B? The first, exactly. The first circle is the sub B, everybody. So out, out, out. In this example, the sub B, I keep saying C, the sub B is at the same level as the capital C. Alright. Sub A, sub B. Alright, everybody. Which one is the sub C? Is the first circle the sub C, or is the second circle the sub C and it's still moving? Which one is the sub C? Alex first, correct. Which one is the sub C, everybody? Which one is the sub C? The first circle is the sub C or the second circle? Which one is the sub C now? The same rules apply. The sub C is the highest point, not necessarily a high, inside the sub A, sub B boundary before the market hits the appropriate sub D extension. Same rules apply. Which one is the sub C? First circle, second circle? Everybody, which one is the sub C? Which one is the highest point inside the sub A, sub B boundary after the B before the market hits the sub D, which is down here, right? Sub D extension. The second, exactly. Sub C is still moving the second, exactly. Excellent job, everybody. Alright, this is the sub C, so red goes to red. The projected sub D extension is down here. Alright. If you would buy the C, everybody, like from the picture, right? From the picture, where is the picture? Talking about trading. Things to remember: the hard time frame controls the small time frame, the Fibonacci is stronger than the trend line. You want to buy in an uptrend, you want to buy the C and take profit at the D. You find the C using the contrarian Fibonacci. You are in an extension. When the market has found the C, check. When the market breaks the counter trend line break, when the market has crowned. So if we would buy back in time, right? This was the market back in time. You don't see the future, all right? This was the AB, deep retracement, you know. That's the C, counter trend line break, everybody. Okay, if you would buy, just an example, you know, yeah, this might be a strategy, why not? If you would buy this candle here and stop loss below the A, right, and profit take at the D, would you make some money, everybody? This is not the best rate, would be almost 1 per 1, but still, all right. If you would buy the C with the counter trend line break, just an example, and crown, we didn't learn crowns, you know, we don't have really, there is no crown so far in the beginning. You know, there is a crown in here if you will be late to the party, but it's another story. Okay, everybody, would you make some money? All right. So this is, everybody, those are the Fibonacci charts, alright? You should have the original Fibonacci like I do, and you should have the contrarian Fibonacci like I do, alright? Once the market breaks the sub A, and in my humble opinion is going to happen, then you don't have a contrarian Fibonacci anymore. Are we clear? For you to chart another contrarian Fibonacci, you need to have another high back to low. Only and only then you can chart, if you want, not mandatory, but you can only and only then you can chart the next. Make sense, everybody? Exactly, once the market breaks the sub A, you have no contrarian Fibonacci anymore. I would suggest you to delete it too. Okay, and now let's go to GBP JPY daily chart. Alright, we're going to delete a few things. Delete this one, delete this one, delete, 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 delete. Alright, this again, you know, we have the ABCDs, capital A. Give me a second, everybody. So this is going to be our A, and that's our A on the original Fibonacci GBP JPY daily chart. This time check your Fibonacci's. Do you have the same as I do? ABC, same story. The C is the deepest point inside the AB boundary. after the B, before the market hits the appropriate extension, and A, B, C, D, you know, red goes to red. Oh, the market, see everybody, it hit the D extension, right? Or the blue, give me a second, we're going to check everybody. Okay, but the focus today, it's on the contrarian, so sub A, and then we're going to have the sub B, right? In the meantime, everybody, where would you start your sub A? Would you start your sub A at the first circle, or would you start your sub A at the second circle? Where would you start? And in the meantime, I'm going to type the sub C, everybody, sub C, and also then we're going to have the sub D. Okay? And before I forget, everybody, you have 2 more days to take advantage of the Black Friday deal. Most of you are already in. Sub A, sub B, sub C, sub D. Yeah, we're going to talk about the last 5 minutes. Yeah, there are 3 packages, everybody, okay? There is no right or wrong anyway. All of you are correct. Everybody, the first circle is the sub A. Now, which one is the sub B? Is the first circle the sub B? Is the second circle the sub B? Whoops, give me a second. Is the second circle the sub B? Is the third circle the sub B? Or is the fourth circle the sub B? Which one is the sub B? And there is right or wrong. Attention to the detail this time. No, it cannot be the same candle. Fibonacci is a sequence, okay? The sub A and the sub B, it should not be the same candle. Which is the sub B, everybody? Olga, the fourth. The sub B is the first low as soon as possible after the sub A. Which circle is the first low after the sub A, everybody? Which one is the first circle? This is the sub A, is the highest high, the absolute high, the starting point of a sequence. The sub B is the first low as soon as possible after the sub A. Which one is the first low? Olga says fourth. Are you sure? Are you sure, everybody? Which one is the first? Which one is the first low as soon as possible? Hedge fund trader Alex, hedge fund trader Alexander. See, everybody, I mean, we're not judging anybody, right? But most of the guys, oh, teach me how to trade the Fibonacci. Nah, it's a little bit complicated, right? Teach me how to make money with the Fibonacci. 50% of the public disappeared already. This is too complex. I mean, it's, yeah, sure, no, but you know, if this would be that easy, everybody would be a Fibonacci master, you know. Olga the second, Alex the third. The second is the answer, so not the fourth, you know. The first one is the same candle, so it's out. The second, everybody, is the low. Okay, everybody, not the third, not the fourth. And there you go, sub A to sub B, sub A to sub B, right? Which one? Now again, use, if you want, use Horizontal lines, if you want, use horizontal lines to help yourself, everybody. There is no right or wrong, you know. Okay, so we have the sub A, sub B. Now this is the C, right, everybody? Which one is the sub D extension? Everybody, is the first circle the sub D, or is the second circle the sub D? Which one is the sub D now? And again, if you want, you can chart sub A to sub B to sub C, right? Which one is the sub D, the first circle or the second circle? Alex, it's too complicated. Well, not really. I mean, if Douglas can understand this, makes sense, everybody? It takes some time, you know, give it time, right? Give it time. Douglas is cleaning swimming pools. You don't need to be a mechanical engineer or quantum physicist to understand this stuff. We just have to learn the rules and practice exactly. The first, and I've been telling you guys, if you need extra classes, ask for it, you know. If you don't want to waste time, like 3 months, 4 months to learn, ask for extra classes. Okay, so this is the sub D, everybody, right? And now what we're going to do, we're going to readjust, right? Sub A goes to sub C, and sub B goes to sub D, right, everybody? Sub B goes to sub D, and contrarian Fibonacci, sub A to sub B, right? So this would be a trade that if you would trade a retracement, you would win. Agreed, everybody? Let me see if I can trick you. Which one is the sub C on the second contrarian? The first circle or the second circle? Which one is the sub C? And then we're going to talk about the sub D. So if you would short the retracement with the contrarian Fibonacci for the first time, you would have a winner. If you would short the contrarian Fibonacci for the second time, you would have a winner. Todd is asking, boss, do you trade retracements? No, I'm just trading extensions, but that's me. There is no right or wrong. Douglas is trading retracements. Okay, boss, can I trade retracement and extension? Yes, you can. But remember that retracements are riskier because you are going against the strongest force, which is the original Fibonacci, everybody. The second, exactly, this is the highest point inside the sub A, sub B boundary after the sub B, before the market hits the property extension. Alright, and of course now, you know, violet goes to violet. The market hit the violet, didn't stop until down in here, so this is now the sub D, and finally now this is the sub C. One more time, sub A goes to sub C, sub B goes to, give me a second, sub B goes to, you know, sub B goes to sub D, and the last time, last Fibonacci tool, contrarian. Now, everybody, you've seen the monthly and the weekly and the daily. Do you understand why, probability-wise, why you could win the first and you could win the second? I mean, you would, but if you would short the third, what would happen when you would, if you would short for the third time? What would happen? What would happen if you would short for the third time the contrarian Fibonacci, and why? What would happen? Look at price action. What would happen if you would, you know, and this is where you students, you don't listen. You would win first, you would win the second, and then you would not listen, and you you would short the trade, the third one, and you would lose on the third one. Why did you lose? Why you are going to lose? Statistically proven, you are going to lose if you go against the capital C, you are going to lose 7 times out of 10. Boss, teach me how to make money with the Fibonacci. Boss, teach me how to trade the Fibonacci. This is the question. It's statistically proven that you are going to lose 7 times out of 10 if you would trade those setups. Why? This contrarian Fibonacci up in here does not have the same probability as this contrarian down in here. Everybody, does this make sense? Why would you lose, and you are going to lose trading contrarians depending on where the market is? Does this make sense? There is no right or wrong in strategy. There is only, there is right or wrong in charting. If you don't know, everybody type in the chat. Boss, I don't know. I don't know why we lost on the third one. There is a logic to the market. I have changed my strategy not to trade retracement. It's too risky. Are you sure? Alex is suffering for the last 2 lessons. The last 2 lessons were not pleasurable. Hello, Alex is... Right, Alex? I'm testing Alex like, I want to change my strategy again, Yeah, alright, I'm going to help you. The logic on why you are going to lose on the third contrarian, it's the capital C, is the confirmed C. What is the rule, statistically speaking, probability wise, on the capital C when it's confirmed? Inside the Fibonacci, so when the market gets down to this deep retracement, we're calling this the blackjack setup. We're buying the ABCs. It's called the blackjack setup. When the market goes down to this level, why would you lose shorting the market 7 times out of 10? If you would, you could short the contrarian here, you would short the contrarian even, maybe not the second one, it's already stopped you out. Here the sub C, I believe it exactly. See everybody? The sub C would the market would broke the contrarian here. Agreed? Can you see? The market broke your sub A, not valid anymore. Alright? Alex says, yes, the lecture class was not, my lesson was not like pleasurable at all. The boss was just pushing my ears and throwing me around, Hedge fund trader Alexander, hedge fund trader Olga, hedge fund trader Alex on YouTube. Is it clear why you would lose 7 times out of 10? The retracement is over. Yeah, but you don't know when you trade. Makes sense, everybody? Back in time, this was the chart. Back in time, everybody listen up. Back in time, because you don't see the future. Back in time, you would see the market and you would have the counter trend line break like this, on the sub A, sub B, sub C, if you don't understand the rules or if you would not listen to the rules, make sense? You would enter shorting the market in here. You would say, oh, the market is still falling, like counter trend line break, sub A, sub B, sub C. Oh, this is going to go down to the sub D. 7 times out of 10 the market is not going to go down to the sub D. Okay, if you would take the time and study take a deep dive in the Fibonacci theory and the markets and charts, you would see that the market would not hit the sub-D extension. Okay, everybody? Now, everybody, can you see it? Now, before you waste time with the contrarian Fibonacci, look at the left side of the vertical line. Give me a second. Look at the left side of the vertical line and look at the right side of the vertical line. Okay. Question. Does make any sense for me to chart the contrarian Fibonacci on the right side of the vertical line? Does make any sense to me? There is no right or wrong, this is your learning, alright? Does make any sense to you to chart the contrarian Fibonacci here and being stopped out, chart the contrarian Fibonacci here and being stopped out, chart the contrarian Fibonacci here and being stopped out, charting here the contrarian Fibonacci? Does this make sense to you? I'm asking you not to waste your time. There are specific rules. There is no right or wrong on like, I mean, if you would chart the contrarian every single dip or every single retracement on the short-term trend, this is not wrong per se, but why would you do that, everybody? Make sense? When the market goes from C to D, when the market gravitates from C to D, you know, it makes no sense, nothing wrong, but it makes no sense for you to chart the contrarian because the market is gravitating from C to D. Make sense, everybody? Compared to when the market is gravitating from B to A and B to A, then yeah, you know, make sense? So back in time, rewatch this lesson thousands of times, okay? So back in time, you know, the market would stop me out on the sub A, so this is not valid anymore, sub A, sub B, sub C, right? The market would stop me out, this is not valid anymore, and then I would monitor price action, whatever, but here I'm going to see, whoa, the market's making lower lows, lower highs again, right? So this would be reasonable. All right, I'm going to chart the, you know, knowing that retracements are riskier, I'm going to chart the contrarian Fibonacci again, like sub A, sub B, and try to take advantage. Why not, you know? So I would have sub A, sub B, sub C, right? Red goes to red, you know, I would have the first one. This would be the second one, and 1, 2, 3. This would be the third one, right? And I would lose on the third one, sub A, sub B, sub C, and the market would stop me out again. And then I would see, you know, because you don't see the future, you would see, oh, so the market's making lower lows, lower highs again, right? And you would go, all right, so, well, this is an interesting one to ask you, everybody. Where would you start your sub A, sub B? Would you start your sub A at the first circle, or would you start your sub A at the second circle? And with the premise that, give me a second, I believe that it's the first circle is higher. Give me a second, everybody. First circle is 19894, 198,947, 1,948,94. So the first circle is higher, everybody, right? Okay, so this will be your sub A. Okay, now which one is the sub B? Is the first circle the sub B, or is the second circle the sub B? Which one is the sub B? everybody? Boss, this is too difficult. It's not, it's just practice, practice, practice. I'm telling you, everybody, you know. Boss, if I take private classes, would you give me a discount Black Friday wise? Yes, just send me an email, alright? If you want private classes, everybody, on Fibonacci, send me an email, okay? I'm giving you 50% discount, okay? Forex course 101, yes, exactly. Stop crying, Todd. Todd, you're always crying, you know? I mean, you're full of money, loaded. You know, stop crying, man. Yeah, we give discount, you know. Exactly, the second one is the sub B. So this would be the sub A to sub B, right, everybody? Fibonacci retracement tool, sub A to sub B. This would be the sub C. And blue goes to blue. You know, then here this would be the sub D. And you would win on the first one. Give me a second. Would you win on the second one? And yeah, you would win on the second one too. So the third one, right? Sub A, sub B, sub A, sub B. Everybody, give me a second. Before we finish for today, which one is the sub C? Is the first circle the sub C? Is the second circle the sub C? Or is the third circle the sub C, everybody? Where is the sub D? Sub D is down in here. Which one is the... So you would win the first Fibonacci, contrarian, the second one. You would win the first one and the second one. Which one is the sub C? First circle, second circle, third circle. Strategy, that's on you. You don't need to trade the contrarian, everybody, if you don't want to. Just use it to find the capital C. That's all. Yes, you can trade it, Marcus. There are no rules. It's your strategy. You can do whatever you want. Yes, in the Fibonacci Mastery, I'm going to give you my 2 strategies. Time tested, proven, they have an edge. They're nothing special. They're not even mine. You know, I took it from my mentors back in time. The third, exactly. So this would be the sub C, everybody, up in here, and sub D, the market hit the violet, and this would be the last one, you know. The last one would be here. So sub A goes to sub C, sub A goes to sub C, and sub B goes to sub D. There you go. Alright, so you would win the 1, 2, and then on the third one, if you would trade it, you would lose. Okay, everybody? So, in conclusion for today, on the GBP JPY daily chart, you don't have a contrarian Fibonacci. Everybody, makes sense? You don't have the contrarian. The market broke the contrarian, clean the chart up, clean it out. You don't have the contrarian so far. Right? Makes sense? The market is gravitating from C to D. Oh, by the way, give me a second. I need to confirm. Did the market hit the red? No, it did not. So blue goes to blue. Talking about the original Fibonacci, blue goes to blue. And that's the blue here. Alright. So the D, it's up in here, right? Would you make some money if you trade the Fibonacci, the original one, example wise? Okay, before we finish, give me a second. Before we finish, not in here. Where is the picture? Give me a second. Not this one. And Fibonacci's, give me a second. There you go. Everybody, you have 2 more days if you want to take advantage of the Black Friday deal. Alright? Don't let 2026 to be just another year. Okay? I know it's a lot of money, but Fast Track 5000, you get the Forex course 202 for 1 year. You get all the extra courses for free. Fibonacci Mastery, US Dollar Index course. Learn how to hedge, difficult course as a pro. Learn about risk. We are finishing the learn how to risk course. Learn about risk, you know. How to build a trading system that makes money workshop. You're going to build your system, everybody. And how to build a lazy crypto portfolio. And by the way, I'm missing here the market web mastery. So everything is for free. You got the Darwinex Zero account for 1 year for free when you can get funded with real money, you know. And you get the FX Boss Trading Desk 1 year for free. And you have the group call forever. Even if you stop in between, you're stopped in a few years, alright? You get the group call forever. Okay, everybody? And otherwise, you have the Fast Track 1000 and 250. Okay, everybody? Yes, don't send me an email. I'll give you 50% off. Stop crying. Private classes, because if you want to learn the Fibonacci's, alright? Stop crying. Don't stop crying, I mean. Okay, everybody, see you tomorrow. Do we have class tomorrow? Tomorrow, give me a second, everybody. Tomorrow, yes, we do. Tomorrow, finding the contrarian Fibonacci in a downtrend. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about euro-dollar chart, NZD CAD chart. Okay? Now, listen up. Listen up, listen up, listen up. If you are smart, you are going to take advantage of Julius and Heraldo and ask those 2 guys to show you the Fibonacci's. Make sense, everybody? Take advantage of Julius, Javen, and Heraldo. You can come, you can join their shows. Those 2 guys are there for you, and ask them. Julius, would you be so kind and show me the original Fibonacci on Canada JPY daily chart? Heraldo, would you be so kind and confirm my Fibonacci on USD Euro-Dollar daily chart? Heraldo, would you be so kind and confirm your confirmation Fibonacci on Euro-Dollar 4-hour chart? I mean, whatever. Whatever. If you are smart, talk to those 2 guys, everybody. Alright? Otherwise, see you back tomorrow with this beautiful guy. And this is the boss, signing off.